The male lead, Yi Shen-yu, was a young man who was determined to become a prosecutor. One night, when he was drinking in a bar, he heard a drunkard telling his friends about his criminal history. After the guy killed someone, he ran away from the law due to lack of evidence. Now, he hasn't repented at all and is still enjoying the pain of the victim's family. Yi Shen-yu can't help but keep staring at the drunkard. Then these people surrounded Yi Shen-yu. "What are you looking at?" Yi Shen-yu didn't dare to say a word because he was afraid that this guy would hurt himself again. Then he sadly rushed out of the bar. It was raining heavily outside. At that moment, Yi Shen-yu panicked. He began to doubt whether the law could punish the criminal. Yi Shen-yu angrily threw all the books in his bag into the trash. When he was about to leave, he only saw a black notebook on the ground. Even the rain water avoided the notebook. He didn't dare to pour a drop of rain on it. Yi Shen-yu picked it up and took it home. On the first page of the notebook, it was recorded in detail the rules of use of this notebook. The first rule was that the person whose name was written on this notebook would die. Yi Shen-yu laughed at that time. He didn't take this notebook seriously at all. But at that moment, the TV was broadcasting a message about a murder suspect. Yi Shen-yu tried to read it, but he wrote the name of the person on the notebook. He didn't say a word. Unexpectedly, the next day, when Yi Shen-yu ate breakfast, he saw the newspaper of the suspect who died last night. He instantly felt that he had picked up a treasure this time. He quickly looked at the other rules of this death notebook. When writing a name, you have to think about the appearance of that person. Otherwise, it will be invalid. In this way, other people with the same name will not be affected. After writing the name, you can add the death note in 40 seconds. If you don't add the death note, you will die of a heart attack. That night, Yi Shen-yu saw the murder suspect last night again. He wrote the name of the other person without hesitation. 10 seconds later, the other person died in front of him. Yi Shen-yu was very happy. With this notebook, he didn't have to learn the law. From then on, he could punish whoever he wanted. At this time, a voice came from above. "It seems that you like this notebook very much." Yi Shen-yu looked up quickly. He saw a monster squatting on the wire pole. The monster spread its wings and flew down. Yi Shen-yu was very surprised. Then he smiled. Even the dead god came out. "This is not a joke, right? Do you want to get this notebook back?" The dead god said, "Fat man, it belongs to you." Yi Shen-yu asked, "What price do I have to pay?" The dead god said, "No, you don't have to worry. If you don't want this notebook, you can give it to someone else. It's just that all the memories about the death note will disappear. Unless you touch the death note again, your memories will be completely restored." Yi Shen-yu asked if anyone else could see you. The dead god said, "Only people who have touched the notebook can see me." Then Yi Shen-yu asked the name of the dead god again. "Just call me Luke." In the next few months, Yi Shen-yu began to kill crazily criminals who have not been sanctioned by the law all over the world. All kinds of strange deaths keep happening. Many people think that this is God judging people. God personally sends the guilty to hell. The people call this invisible killer Killa. Even many young people have become fans of Killa. They are willing to ask Killa to kill someone, send someone away, etc. Yi Shen-yu also feels that what he is doing is justice. But this notebook is so thin. "Brother, when you write your name, can you write it densely? The font and spacing are both so big. I guess in a few months, you should have used up your notebook. Yi Shenyu has a girlfriend named Xiao Shi. He is very opposed to killer's practice. Do you think people should be punished? Must pass the law. Killer can't be above the law. But Yi Shenyu, this high intellectual scholar, wouldn't change his values. Not only did he not keep his face, he even hacked into the internal network of the Japanese police station. Because his father, Yi Shen, is a senior officer of the police station. From then on, he can see very intuitively who committed what crimes. So more and more strange deaths will of course cause the World Police Organization ICPU to be alert. Yi Shenyu has become the main person in charge of investigating the killer case. On this day, the world's worst detective, L, sent his assistant, Mr. Du, to the police station to meet Yi Shen. L is a very mysterious person, very few people have seen him. How powerful is this person? There are 3 famous detectives in the world. And these 3 famous detectives are actually all L alone. He just used different names to handle the case. Its purpose is to reduce his position in the hearts of people. He doesn't want everyone to think that L is too twisted. He wants to be as low-key as possible. But even so, L still has the absolute right to freely mobilize the police force around the world. L is the last ace in the world. There is no case in the world that he can't solve. And Mr. Du is L's assistant. If you want to get in touch with L, you have to get in touch with him. And then L communicates with everyone through the computer voice. He firmly believes that this case was done by one person. And this person is in Nihongo. Because the first strange death happened in Nihongo. Mr. Du asked, how is this possible? A person is running around the world to commit a crime. It's hard to distinguish. L said that killer must have mastered a method that can kill people from a distance. I can prove it by doing an experiment next. On that day, ICPO interrupted all TV programs. L broadcasted to the world that he would personally investigate the serial killer, Killa. The L on the TV described the various criminal acts of Killa. Killa thought he was acting for God. But in fact, he was just a very self-righteous and very naive criminal. This statement completely denied Yi Shenyue's approach. Yi Shenyue looks calm on the surface. But those are already raging waves. He wants to show the people of the world a big show. So he took a death note and wrote the name of the person on the TV. That is to say, from this moment on, Yi Shenyue is not only a criminal. He also wants to kill those who offend him. Yi Shenyue proudly said, I thought L was pretty good. I want to play with you for a while. In other words, L is a loophole. You don't deserve to play with him. Then L felt uncomfortable on the TV. His heart was paralyzed and he died on the spot. The people who watched the live broadcast were shocked. Then the real L came in. As expected, as I expected, Killa, you can kill people from a distance. Without doing anything. Yi Shenyue was very shocked when he said this. I just killed a substitute. L said, you killed the real me. But it seems you can't do it. And now I have your information. Not only do you know that you can kill people from a distance. I also know that you are in Guangdong, Nihon, because this live broadcast is said to be global. But in fact, it was only broadcast in Guangdong. It means that L cleverly narrowed the scope of arresting Killa. But as far as I am concerned, L is also self-absorbed and naive. Why do you say so much? Isn't this a good way to prevent Killa? The battle between the two has now come to an end. And Yi Shenyue has become more careful. Next, L analyzed Killa's killing time through big data. Think Killa is a student. So when he was in class, it was difficult for him to kill people. And Yi Xinyue also learned this news through the police station. So he started to kill people in the next few days. L thinks that Killa can not only kill people. It can also control the time of death of that person. And what is more important is that Killa can also obtain information from the investigation department. Because it is known that Killa is a student party. Only investigators. Zongilang said, "Is Killa among us?" Next, L sent people to start monitoring all investigators and the family of the investigators. Yi Xinyue is naturally also within the scope of monitoring. Yi Xinyue knew that he was being followed. Of course, he was very upset. He just wanted to kill the followers. But he couldn't find out the name of the other party. L said to Yi Xinyue, "We can directly see the real name of humans and the remaining time of life. Do you want a pair of eyes of the dead god? You only need to exchange half of the remaining time of your life." Yi Xinyue listened and refused. "No, I still want to live a few more years." Then Yi Xinyue thought of a good way. One day, he asked a teacher to take a bus out to play. Naturally, the people who followed him also got on the bus. Yi Xinyue directly asked the person, "Why are you following me?" And the other party denied it. Not a while later, a bank robber escaped, got on the bus and hijacked the driver. The passengers in the car were in a panic. Yi Xinyue quietly wrote on the note, "I want to take the opportunity to subdue him and show it to the stalker." The stalker said, "No, it's too dangerous. Let me do it." Yi Xinyue said, "I am the police of the future. Why do you come? Besides, what if you are the accomplice of the robbers?" The stalker had no choice but to take out his ID. "You are the police of the future." That he accidentally dropped the note on the ground. This sentence attracted the attention of the robber. "Walk over and pick up the note. I want to see what he wrote." As a result, the moment he picked up the paper, "Oh, I was scared." The robber saw Luke. It turned out that this piece of paper was torn from the death note. Anyone who meets the death note can see the dead god. The robber screamed and shot Luke. But physical harm can't hurt the dead god. So the robber quickly got off the car. But it happened to be hit by the car that rushed up later. And all of this is actually the plot designed by Yi Xinyue in advance. Because the death note can not only write the death note in 40 seconds after writing the name. It can also write the detailed death experience in 7 minutes after writing the death note. That is to say, the death note can not only kill people. It can also control the death behavior of others. It's too bad. Later, Yi Xinyue took the scared little stone to the hospital. And Xiaolei also returned to the hotel to meet her fiancé Xiaomei. Xiaomei is also a member of the FBI. But she only knows the killer case. But she is not a criminal. These two people were supposed to get married in the church on Saturday. But on Saturday, Xiaolei was pushed off because of some urgent matter. She got on a subway nervously. Xiaomei thought Xiaolei was strange, so she followed her to the subway. Then Xiaolei took the document bag in the car. There are a few pieces of paper and a walkie-talkie and a laptop in it. And Yi Xinyue also ordered Xiaolei by walkie. He first killed the passenger next to Xiaolei to prove that he was the killer. Then asked how many people participated in the investigation of the FBI. Xiaolei said there were 12 people including me. But I don't know their names. Yi Xinyue said it didn't matter. You just need to write your commander's name in the card slot. On the piece of paper. Xiaolei did as he said. While the commander sent an email to this laptop. It turned out to be the information of the other FBI members of the investigation of the killer case sent by the commander. Yi Xinyue asked Xiaolei to write down the names of the people in front of them. Xiaolei got off the car in the next station after she had done everything she was told. As soon as Xiaolei got off the car, her heart suddenly collapsed on the ground. Before she died, she saw Yi Xinyue smiling. It turned out that the killer was Yi Xinyue. But he died with this secret right away. Xiaomei rushed to her fiancé. She shouted Xiaolei's name painfully. After the train left, Yi Xinyue happily took the piece of paper. It had already written the death of each person. It was only necessary for someone to add the name. Yi Xinyue asked Xiaolei to write down the commander's name first. It is to control the commander to send an email and then die. And other FBI members can kill by the hand of Xiaolei. The last dead Xiaolei was written by Yi Xinyue. He controlled Xiaolei to come to the subway to do this dirty work for himself. And the reason why Yi Xinyue killed all the FBI members was because if he killed Xiaolei alone, he would have a major suspicion. In order to get rid of the suspicion, he simply killed everyone. It's so vicious. In this way, the investigation of the killer's case suddenly fell into an almost unsolvable dilemma. So what will Elle do next?